Honda. Proud to be in behind our racing along with our Bears Junior, brought to us by E. Hayes and Son. That is up to 750cc, two valve V-twin air cooled, gives us the opportunity. So some of the machines in there like Norton Commandos and Ducati Monsters, along with Triumph Bonneville. So that's what we call a Bears Junior field. And oh hello, we've got one or two, well, that's been a chain reaction, up to 4 that have potentially gone down. You do not normally see that here at Teretonga for sure. You do not see that, and we've still got some bikes there. Oh, another one off here, another one off there, and that's a real skid, and the bike goes sliding, and the rider okay, and he thumps the ground with disappointment, and he does the right thing, gets up, gets out of the way, walks clear of his bike, and just gets right off the track there. That one's well out of the way, but still the incident at the top end here has not been cleared, and probably a little bit prone there. We'll wait and see. The officials make the call. They do it better than we do it, that's for sure. They can see it there and outside. So that's at least 5 riders down at the start of that race. Wow, some drama to the max going on there at the stage. One of those is self-recovered to the extent they're back on the track and going again. Unsure as to who that was. And the rest of them are still racing here. So here we go with a 1-2. Johnny Lewis spotted there. Got Johnny, got Chris Huddleston out there. So Chris Huddleston, Johnny Lewis as the guys head into the corner. And the others look to be far enough out of the way. See, it's the optical illusion of seeing a corner like that. You think all of a sudden you can see 3 bikes still there and think that how close they are to the circuit. They're obviously well enough clear of the circuit. That did not cause any problems at all to our riders that come back out of Caltex and come down towards Castrol this time. And away they go. So you've got a good fight going on there for the second, third placing. But look at that now for the update as we go, and a lot of riders missing in that update, so we'll come back to that one. So Chris Huddleston, Johnny Lewis, Ashley Weller, the local man, and Cormac Buchanan. Cormac and going for it. Good work for Cormac, just to see where he is in that lineup. So Cormac, I presume it'll be Bears Juniors. He'll be in on the KTM 250, so look for him. We'll get a clearer update with the result shortly. So let's take a look at that. And no, in fact, he's down for Formula 3. Should be Bears Juniors as well, being the KTM. But anyway, there we go. First, second, then to third, fourth. There's Cormac. No, there he goes now. Of course, on the IMD KTM. You'll pick him out on the high-vis colours. So good work for Cormac, and keen to see his racing. He's dropped to fifth place there. So you've got Johnny, Chris, Ashley. Then you go to Alware, Cormac in there as well. So they're all Formula 3. Bears Junior, the first one is Martin Barlow. So Martin and looking well back. I certainly understood in Bears Juniors as that's where Heath Bodiger was going to go. So wonder whether Heath's part of the drama. This is not Heath and his bike that's out here on Castrol at the moment. That's not any of his gear. Man, that rider doing the right thing. How good was that? The thump of the ground was just a story in itself. I know he'd be gutted. It was a classic a front wheel washout, and the bike sort of did a little bit of a somersault. The reason for that, of course, it's beautiful soft. It's a perfect kitty litter, as it's sometimes called, but it's a very soft dirt there. That means when a rider goes in there with the bike, it just slows down immensely, and that was certainly the case here on the exit to Castrol. But more drama with our field up the top end there. And looking out, there we are with Chris Huddleston in front. All changes there. I think that Johnny might be back to third place. Johnny might be back to third. I'm going to look out for that one. Who's got the update for second? Oh, in fact, no, sorry, it's the other way round. So Johnny has now gone for the lead. Chris from Ashley, then go to Al, still with Cormac, Chris Burt, Regan Bray, and then the Martin Barlow ride. So Martin in there. Martin was our best Bears Junior rider from our earlier run for qualifying. In fact, I think that got changed in our update from memory, but yes it did. So our Bears Junior will actually did get changed because Heath was then in that group. So in fact Heath Bodiker was ahead of Martin Barlow, but it's Martin now that has the advantage for our Bears Junior lineup. He's back there at the moment into 8th place. Next in the field for Bears Juniors will be Campbell Stevenson. He's been a very busy man here today, along with Alan Henry. So good work from Alan up there. So Alan normally riding I think a Kawasaki Motard bike from memory, so having the ability to dual class through there. Martin Barlow from Upper Mootry on the Ducati Monster, written down as our F3 lineup, but doing the right thing by being in our Bears Junior. And keen just to look out for Alan. So he rides the Ducati 750 SS out of Phoenix, Otago, Tyree Motorcycle Repairs, Ducati Spares and JRL. Well, it certainly appears as if we're going to be going for a bike recovery after this one, after we've certainly still got our 3 bikes on the outside at turn 1. The most carnage that I've seen there, I've seen, I suppose the biggest recollection that I've got of a crash there was Oamaru's Brad Self. Won't ever forget the crash he had on his big Honda 1000 and Superbike racing in New Zealand. Good to see Brad as a spectator, joined us at Levels for NZSBK a few weeks ago. So, and the crash that he had there was certainly one to remember. And here at Castrol, the biggest crash I ever recall is Robbie Bugden's one on the Suzuki when he was leading the championship. Did that on the Saturday for qualifying, and the racing itself on the Sunday, and he still came out for racing. How he survived that racing, I've got no idea, or got back on the track, and he still went on to win the title that year because the crash was horrendous, to be polite about it. So vivid memories of 2 big crashes here at the 2 points where we've had riders go down in this race, but for have the 4 go down, certainly a little bit of carnage in all politeness. Johnny Lewis, Chris Huddleston, along with Ashley Weller, Al Ware and Cormac Buchanan, this new superstar of racing here in the Super South, and as well now supported by the Southland Motorcycle Club. In the words of President Andy Underhay, hey, what else can the club should be doing the right thing by supporting its young riders, and there's nobody of the talent of Cormac Buchanan has been seen out of Southland, for that matter out of the country. For a rider that's been only a very short time in road racing, he's showing huge potential. So Southland, a great one to get him behind, and wishing him all the very best out there. So, of course, he's on the IMD bike here today, and that IMD machine, well, having people like Dr. Steve and the work that he's done with IMD, I think it's just fantastic, and that's effectively a Moto 3 bike as we know that class and what it represents from around the world. So, Cormac out there. In fact, he was to be listed here on the Yamaha 150. That, of course, is his own bike that he uses in New Zealand's super sport racing. But deservedly, he's been offered a better bike and showing some class on that IMD at the moment. Checkered flag for all these guys now. The 27 down in there of Steve Winteringham on his Kawasaki Ninja 300. Oh, Steve, of course, a long-time supporter of the Southland Motorcycle Club. The 34 out there of Dean Watson as well on his VFR. Well, that's another 34. I think we might have had 2 of them somehow. Remembering we will have some number double-ups potentially, as we have had 2 classes combined. So quick reflection, Steve back in there in the 16th place. We've only got Dan Adamson in there. We've had a lot of riders that haven't appeared, and of course because that happened on the opening lap, we haven't had 1 lap to trigger of the fact that those riders have done 1 lap. So when you've got a crash on the first lap, you actually don't know who's involved because they haven't come past to know that they were there for lap 1 but not for lap 2. If it had it happen on the second lap, we would have an accurate idea of exactly who that was. Did not start, I see, for Jacob Stroud, unfortunately for Jacob. But anyway, let's reflect on it for Formula 3. That's Johnny Lewis first, Chris Huddleston second, local man Ashley Weller is third. For the Bears Juniors, it was in there Martin Barlow to get first place. So well done to Martin. We also have, just waiting for the update, somebody else in that. Oh, there, Campbell Stevenson and Alan Henry, the 53 of Alan Henry in our Bears lineup as well. He's out of Mosgiel, he too with the Ducati 750 SS out of Phoenix Otago, Tyree Motorcycles, Ducati Spears and JRL. So good work from Alan and there, Alan Henry. So there's the 2 lots of 3, the first, second and third for our 2 various classes. So our crash recovery underway, folks. Taking a break, we'll be back shortly with more from Southland Honda, the home of Honda in the South, super supporters of our E. Hayes and Sons Teretonga Sprint Racing. Hot on our program for the BurtMunro 2020. Well, more drama in one race than Shortland Street's got in a year, that's for sure, as we rock and roll here with more great Formula 3 and Bears racing. Can go through the results thanks to mxt.co.nz. You can keep up with it as well. It's Martin Barlow from Campbell, Stevenson, Alan Henry, Butch Woods and Norman Lear, Dario